What's up guys, MTG Matt here today with a little bit of a different video, no gameplay video, but I do want to give my 2 cents about the new upcoming Alchemy format for Magic Arena. And I've written down my thoughts about it and just want to quickly share this with you guys. For those of you who watch Magic content regularly, you probably heard a lot of opinions about Alchemy so far and have heard a lot of explanations, so I won't go too deep into what Alchemy actually is. I will simply just give a quick wrap up, and then I want to address 4 points about this new format in the form of number 1, the problems Magic has in the digital age. Number 2, what is Alchemy, the new format, and how does it want to address these problems of Magic in the digital age. Number 3, my opinion about Alchemy, and then number 4, I'm gonna wrap it up with a conclusion. Okay, number 1, let's talk about the problems Magic has in the digital age. So the problem Magic has in a card game in the digital age is simply that Magic is bound by its paper format, right? So Magic gets still printed in paper, and it's great and everything. But the problem with a game like Magic Arena is that whenever a new set releases, and we're talking here specifically about Standard, players figure out very, very quickly what the optimal decks are, because the number of games you can play on Arena is just incredibly huge. And that's why, like, mostly 2 weeks after a new expansion, the meta is solved again, which means that the Standard gets stuck with a small number of top decks super fast, and metas get stale super fast. And the options that Magic has to fix the meta or to keep a meta fresh are pretty suboptimal, because the only solution Magic has is bannings or restrictions, although I've never seen restrictions ever since I played Arena. So it's simply bannings, which always feels bad because you simply can't play with the card anymore, right? It's just a really suboptimal solution. So this leads us to number 2, what is Alchemy and how does Alchemy try to solve this problem of Magic in the digital age? Well, Alchemy is going to be an arena-only format and a digital-only format that wants to use the advantages of a digital-only card game by rebalancing cards every month to keep the meta fresh and innovative, which means cards will simply get changed. They either will get buffed or nerfed to balance them out and give other cards the chance to be played in the meta. And in addition, about 4 to 6 weeks after a new set has been released, a supplementary set will get released with digital-only cards for the format of Alchemy and new digital mechanics that will also only be playable on Arena. So digital-only mechanics are, we've seen something like this from Historic Horizons in the form of Perpetual and Seek. I won't explain those digital mechanics right now, but just know that they are out there, and those are mechanics that can only work on digital and not on paper. And this leads us to number 3, my opinion about Alchemy after this quick wrap up, what it tries to do and where Wizards is coming from with this. My opinion about Alchemy is that Alchemy is possibly the greatest missed opportunity for digital Magic ever since Arena has been released, for the following reasons. Here is what I love about Alchemy. Alchemy is going to rebalance cards regularly, which keeps the meta fresh, and it leaves room to explore new deck ideas without the need for a new expansion. Right? Because think about it, if you nerf some cards, if you buff some cards, this gives room for new decks to emerge, which means that previously underused cards have a chance to shine. Now, here's what I don't like about Alchemy. What I don't like about it is that I think that the digital-only cards will lead to lazy card design that will hurt the Magic play experience. And let me explain you why I think that is. There's this nice phrase, so to say, which says, restrictions breed creativity, which means that if you tell somebody to create something and you give them no like boundaries on what to create, it's very hard to come up with something that's great. But if you put restrictions on an artist or on a game designer, this leads those game designers to think about innovative, fresh solutions and exciting solutions that make for exciting gameplay. And while I've talked about the problems Magic has in the digital age, having played other digital card games myself, like Hearthstone, I can say that the greatest advantage Magic has over those other digital-only card games is that it is restricted by its paper-only format, which means that the card designs the people at Wizards of the Coast have to come up with to excite us as players, they are very more deep and innovative than in the digital-only card games. And why I think that is that Hearthstone, but also other digital-only card games, are a perfect example of this, which is the aspect of randomness. The aspect of randomness is the ultimate lazy card design. Let me show you a quick example of what I mean. I'm here at Mythic Spoilers, and there have already been cards spoiled for Alchemy, right, which will be only digital-only cards. Let me actually zoom in a bit. And we have a new card here called Clone Crafter. It's a 2-mana 1/2 human wizard in blue, and it says, when Clone Crafter enters the battlefield, conjure a duplicate of a random creature card from your opponent's library into your hand. It perpetually gains may spend mana as though you have mana of any color to cast this spell. So you play this guy, and Conjure basically makes a copy of this random creature card from your opponent's library in your hand, and then you can play it. Now, this is the type of design that you see very often in games like Hearthstone. And please tell me where exactly in this card is the skill involved or the decision making. You just play this, you get a random creature card. It's completely random. How does this get me excited to put this into a deck, to build around it? And I worry that this will lead to game experience you have sometimes like in Hearthstone, because in Hearthstone, it can happen, and it happens often enough, that you are the better player, you have the better game plan, and then your opponent gets a random effect from a certain card and you just lose the game due to randomness, right? And I absolutely hate this. This was one of the reasons why I love playing Magic digitally, because Magic was always restricted by the fact that these types of effects do not work in the real physical world, right? Because you can't conjure a random card from your opponent's library into your hand. It just doesn't work. So this is my greatest worry. This is what I don't like about Alchemy at all. And the second thing I don't like about it is that the introduction of the supplementary set will hurt your wallet even more, right? And I have maybe like a little bit of controversial opinion about this, but we as Magic Layer, we always like to have new stuff, like obviously. But I sincerely believe that Magic, or let's say Standard, does not need more cards, because think about it. Every set that gets released offers about 300 new cards, but most of which never see play because of bad balance and because of stale metas. Which means that if you simply balance existing cards, this adds enough new cards to the meta without hurting your wallet again, right? Because let's take, Adventures in the Forgotten Realms as an example. Are you playing most of the legendary dragons in your deck? Are you playing all the planeswalkers from that set? I don't think so. Me neither. Which means that those cards exist and you can put them in a deck, but the meta doesn't really allow for it. So my opinion is, if Alchemy would simply be used to rebalance cards in Standard, you would have enough new cards to play with anyway, so you don't need these supplementary sets. And this leads me to number 4, my conclusion. My conclusion with Alchemy is that if Alchemy would have only been a format where you have standard with the option of regular rebalancing cards, I think that would have been the best news for Magic Arena ever and would have made me extremely excited about the future of digital Magic. Because, in my opinion, if you take the greatness of Magic with its restrictions from the physical world, which means that you get exciting card and game design, if you combine this with the advantages of a digital age, that you can rebalance cards after the fact, this will be the greatest thing ever. However, due to the introduction of new cards with presumably lazy card design, a lot of randomness, I assume that Alchemy will unfortunately go the creative way of other digital-only card games with lazy, unexciting designs. And the last point I want to say here is that I still will try the new format out, and I try to remain open towards it. And I also want to be honest. There might be a world where I and most other people simply accept this as a new form of playing Magic, and will accept that it doesn't feel 100% like Magic anymore. Because I don't want to go about the aspects of what kind of impact this has on other formats, but of course there's the big threat, so to say, that regular standard will be left on the wayside. There won't be much attention to the balance in standard, and that Alchemy will just be the new focus of Wizards of the Coast. So, last sentence here, I think Alchemy was the greatest opportunity for digital Magic that unfortunately never happened. So, I would really be interested in your opinion, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I see you guys soon.